This is the story of money made, money lost, verbal altercations, almost physical altercations, massive rat infestations, and methamphetamine. As you can see, it's a snow day. I'm completely iced in. I cannot go into work today and show y'all any of our current projects we have going on, but I still want to post a video to keep up with my goal of posting a video a week. Since I started posting these videos, a lot of people have asked me, when did I get into real estate? And I just tell them since birth, because my dad has been into it since before I was born. So then people ask me, all right, what was your first real estate deal? And I always just say, well, it's a long story. Since we got a snow day, I got time to tell a long story today, so I'm gonna do it. 5 years ago, my dad came across a really good deal. It was a single wide trailer on 2 acres for an extremely good price that was livable, but definitely needed some upkeep and some work to be done to it. So being the nice guy he is, rather than him buy it, he let me buy it, and I didn't have any money, so I had to finance 100% of the purchase price. And so that was risky, but didn't really bother me at the time. So I fixed the place up, and it was much more costly than I had originally anticipated, but I've come to find out that that almost always happens when you're talking about real estate. And then I had a decision to make. Am I gonna just try to sell this thing and offload it, or am I gonna try to turn it into more of a long-term investment? Looking back, part of me wishes that I would have just put it back on the market, sold it, made a few $1,000 maybe, and moved on, but that's not what I decided. I decided to go the long-term route, so I took a bunch of pictures of it just with my cell phone and posted that puppy on Facebook and just said, you know, single wide trailer for rent to own, owner finance, something, just hoping that someone would even want to occupy the place because it was pretty far out. And I got just an insane amount of interest from people and ended up meeting a ton of different people out there, most of which showed up, looked around, and then rolled out, told me they were interested, and then just never called me again. Until one fella showed up. This dude walked in, and it was as if he fell in love with the place. He said it was perfect for him, and he didn't want to just rent it, he wanted to own it. And I said, well, that's perfect, because I'm totally open to doing some kind of owner financing situation. That way I don't have to deal with any repairs. You know, this is your place, I'll just put a lien on it. I said, you just got to be able to come up with, you know, like $3,000 down, dude, something to put some skin in the game. And he was totally okay with it. And let's just say I didn't do much underwriting after that. And we moved on just a couple weeks later, and I actually deeded the property over to this guy after only collecting $3,000 from him. Massive mistake looking back. The payment was only like $600 to me a month, and I'd say the only months that went smoothly were the first 3. Yeah, that's accurate. And then after that, it was basically like pulling teeth every month, and this went on for maybe over a year. And then early one summer, it's as if the guy just fell off the face of the earth. I couldn't figure out where he was. I couldn't get a hold of him. I would swing by the house sometimes and there would be no cars or anything there, so I wouldn't even bother stopping. And I did notice it was a bit grown up from the outside. So yeah, the guy just fell off the face of the earth, and a couple months went by, I never heard anything from him, and I didn't get any money. So at this point, he's totally in default of our arrangement, but I gotta find him. I end up finding the guy's girlfriend on Facebook and message her and say, hey, listen, I'm Jack. I'm looking for this dude. I got to get a hold of him. He owes me this money. And to my knowledge, he's living in, you know, a house I have a lien on for free. So I get a call shortly thereafter from a number I didn't have, and it was this guy. And I basically told him, you know, I'm going to have to move forward with the foreclosure process because you're not paying me. And it was as if I had just told him, you know, Tech just lost a football game. I mean, the guy just had no cares in the world, didn't matter at all, and was just kind of like, yeah, okay. And of course, I didn't have that much money at the time. I was not getting the money that he owed me, and I was just fuming mad. And I did not want to spend the money on going through an actual, you know, foreclosure. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really have the money at the time. So, you know, I just said, listen, man, we can go through this the painful way, which is the foreclosure process, which requires a ton of legal work, paperwork, and time, or you can just deed the thing back over to me and basically forget it ever happened. The agreement was that he was going to pay all the closing costs to deed the house back over into my name, the release fees, everything. And he showed up to closing with exactly $0. And there was back taxes due on the property, utility bills due, all kinds of stuff. And to top it all off, he owed me for months and months of his payment to me and showed up with nothing. So the only thing I could do to get the property back at that time was to just pay for everything and let him go on his merry way. So we made a verbal agreement there at that closing that he was going to pay me, you know, such and such every month, which I never saw a dime of, even though I did try to collect that. I ran into him at a Target, had some words, he ran away, and saw him at a Virginia Tech football game where he was carrying around a $20 turkey leg whilst owing me over $1,000. So anyway, this is where the story gets absolutely insane. When I go to see the property that I had just gotten back. Stay tuned for part 2. Follow the page. I'll post it ASAP.